Back to a stretch where the last loss was when Nussmeier's de facto first start.
Right.
Against Arkansas,
That's
where
right.
he had Max Johnson for one drive, the most bizarre handling of a quarterback scenario I've ever seen. But Nuss played in the majority of that game, and you lost 13-16. But Nuss had the one throw to Jack Best where everybody's like, "That's it. That's who I want." And then you haven't seen it since. It's been now 3 years since you've seen Nussmeier get starting reps, and now you're in 2024 when he's your starting quarterback. So I don't want to say it's a stretch. I think it might mean a little bit more to him, but it might mean a little bit more to him.
I think Nussmeier is one of those athletes, competitors that, his fuel, he finds his own
Just
fuel.
another notch on your belt.
I'd say, I was so impressed with the way that Nussmeier stays and competes in the game like he does in just watching him on Saturday. And I'll reference this for a while because I appreciated the point of view on Saturday, and my buddy Norby Schaber, who was kind enough to invite me to this game back in the summer. I really had no idea, some of the cooler things that would come out of that experience. And really one of the coolest parts was seeing the interaction on the sideline. If you're in the lower bowls, especially behind the bench of LSU, that is a cool perspective. If you go in with the mindset of, hey, I want to watch how, coaches coach their position groups. I want to watch the interaction between the quarterback and the play callers, or the offensive coordinator, Cortez Hankton and Brian Kelly and Frank Wilson, how those guys interact with the quarterback, what some of those conversations look like. If you're paying attention, we were 12 rows up in section 102. Norby Schaber's got great seats, and I don't think he'll mind me telling you where he sits because, he's a politician. Go by and see him. He'll shake your hand, kiss your baby, and probably ask for your number.
Yeah. Gotta get your
I'm just kidding. But one of the cool things is, we're 12 rows up, man. Like, you can hear the conversations. First off, the coaches are screaming to get their point across. So if you're watching, if you're paying attention, you can hear what's going on. And, a couple of times Brian Kelly got after Nussmeier. After the interception, he met him on the hash marks and went, early Notre Dame Brian Kelly on him. And the thing that I took away in watching that is that Nussmeier kind of loves that. Like, he kind of gets off on that. Like, he kind of,
coach me.
That's his motivator of, like, not that I'm going to play bad, but you want to pile on me right now?
Good.
Like,
I deserve all of this.
It. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take my helmet off.
Yeah.
Let the whole stand see me.
I don't have a safe word.
I got no problem. I'll look you dead in your eye.
Yes, sir.
I won't even blink at you. And you could tell Kelly, like, that's almost kind of like Kelly's MO. He's kind of bouncing at him a little bit, like, say something to me,
yeah. Yes,
come back at me. And Nussmeier just stays in the game. He stays in it. He takes it. Yep. Yes, sir. Yep. Looks in the eye the whole time. You can sense, like, get me back out there. Get me back out there. Straight to the headsets. Him and Sloan are having their conversation. A couple of conversations with him and Cortez Hankton. To me, Hankton is the guy that really calms him. Like, even after mistakes and watching them last week, Hankton's the first that meets him. There's no real emotion. There's no real, high or low in the conversation. You can tell Hankton's either saying stuff like in his ear, like, what'd you see right there? Or what are you looking at? What's going on? You had the guy on the out, whatever it was. But, he's the one that's really kind of like, look, the football is the football. Here's the scheme. What happened? Or great job. Kelly's the kind of WTF guy. He only pops up when stuff is boiling and he needs to get you going, or he needs some answers. Frank Wilson is good for the quarterback. And then the way that Nussmeier just stays in the game, competes, and I have been so overly impressed with Nussmeier in the way that he has played the position this year. And I think in all of his intangibles are really on display this year, like the coach's son, the waiting his turn, the time behind a guy like Jaden Daniels in which you take away from playing behind a pro, and then in the system of which he operates. I just think that Nussmeier, it has all come together for him in the sense of, man, all the patience, all of the hard days. I'm sure his dad coached him up when he was even a kid. You can see all of that really sharp at this point in his football career, right? I mean, I'm sure there were some long rides home from the field with his dad when he was a kid, or some extended film sessions with his dad when he was a kid that some of us, most of us, dads with our sons, probably wouldn't even know what to do, what to say, or even, make that into a positive experience.
I don't want to get in the car.
And to me, he's a lot like Burrow in that sense, where Burrow was a coach's kid who was coached up his entire life to be really the competitor that he is, right? That was the draw to me on Joe Burrow. This guy competes. This guy's not going to lose. This guy is going to fight to the death. And Nussmeier, to me, has that quality. He has that in comparison to Burrow. I'm not saying that he's Joe Burrow, but, in his own way, he handles the quarterback position with as much efficiency as a Burrow Daniels type quarterback. I mean, the reputation, or at least the consistency that we've seen from that spot since 2018 when Burrow has showed up, the standard is being held by Garrett Nussmeier right now. And it's not just by his sweet delivery, his catchable football, his experience. It's just the way he competes. It's the mental toughness. It's the ability to stay in that game. I mean, there's a lot of competitors that would have checked out Saturday night in a game where you never have the lead, when you make plays to set your team back, when you get the ball and have opportunities to win. A lot of competitors, a lot of players in that instance, in that situation, will fail, will choke. In watching Nussmeier and just kind of keeping an eye on him and having that point of view of close down by the field and paying attention to the way he stays in the game, I never doubted. When he made that play at the end of the game, it all made sense. Because he never checked out. He was always the belief, the thought, the eye. You look at him, we're going to win. LSU's going to win. He believed that. He thought that. And, man, it happened for him. I thought the way his mental toughness was on display Saturday night, it was not his best game on paper. It was not his best game in the stat line. I thought he made a ton of money on Saturday night. If you're a pro scout, if you're a guy who makes decisions, if you're someone who chooses talent for a football team, there was so many attractive qualities to Garrett Nussmeier on Saturday night. I thought from a football player's standpoint that there was probably a lot of people who fell deeper in love of what they saw. Well, he threw an interception out of the air. I get it. I understand. But you got to realize football coaches by nature are very arrogant. Give me that guy. I'll make sure he didn't make that decision. But he competes like that. He stays involved in the game. He thinks that they're going to win. And he has everybody behind his back saying, that's our guy. We're going to win. Man. Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier. They all make sense. They all feel like the same type of caliber. They do different things better than one another, but they all fit in the same class.
They all have the same trait.
Those are three high-level, big-time college football quarterbacks that LSU has had under center over the last 5 years. It's amazing. Amazing.
And to kind of highlight Nussmeier, going into that game-winning drive, you have a 4th and 6 with 2 minutes left. Complete. Mason Taylor, 14 yards. Then you get to a 3rd and 10. Complete to Mason Taylor, 19 yards. Then you get to another 4th down, 4th and 5.
The pass of the game. When
finds
he
Aaron
lets
Anderson,
go of that ball.
Oh, Sean Salisbury was going nuts.
Aaron Anderson's shoulder pads are pointing at the goalpost when he makes that pass. I mean, like, he has not even – and, I mean, Aaron Anderson has turned into who we thought Aaron Anderson was going to be. He is he's so fun to watch. He has, in my opinion, really become either 1 or 1A wide receiver on this team. You can tell Nussmeier really trusts him. That throw alone is evidence of that. But that throw in particular was difficult to drop. I mean, that is throwing somebody into a spot that is open and putting it into there. I mean, he put that thing into his gut. I mean, like, he almost just kind of like fell into it. Now, Aaron Anderson made the play, he deserves it and all that stuff. But the point is that he's throwing the ball so precisely, so accurately, so much on time that is some NFL stuff, man. Look around college football. That stuff ain't happening everywhere. And for LSU to have this is just, it's unbelievable to me. I mean, really, like if you listen to this show, I am still Christmas morninged by the quarterback play of LSU. I mean, we are, if we had to go through the ice ages like we did for the 12 years, it's all worth it now. Okay, I don't mind the 12-year sentence that we all had to pay of watching what we did. If you give me Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Garrett Nussmeier, Bryce Underwood, Elijah Haven, I mean, like, good Lord. I feel like, is that all we had to do? And this is